Et salut à toutes et à tous, c'est Sangay, j'espère que vous allez bien. On se retrouve pour un petit épisode bonus. Donc on va regarder la vidéo de la création du jeu, je pense. Des petits artworks et tout, je pense que ça peut être cool qu'on se regarde ça ensemble. Donc sans plus attendre, c'est parti.
The history of Back to the Future in video games has not been a pretty one. And so my mandate to Telltale when
Bob
they
Gale,
said we're
donc un
going to
des
do Back to the
scénaristes.
Future is this game cannot suck eggs.
Ce jeu, il ne peut pas puer sa mère. Je vais essayer de vous traduire un peu.
Definitely, like the first time we met, we talked about that. You know, with Telltale, our process starts with the story and the characters, and we apply the story mechanics later. And I think that people were really excited about the potential of where this could go.
Donc ils ont créé les personnages d'abord et ils ont ensuite développé le scénario.
There's never going to be a Back to the Future Part 4. We're not doing that.
Donc il a dit ouais, il n'y aura jamais de Retour vers le futur partie 4. C'est exactement ce que je disais, tu vois. Le scénariste des films, un des scénaristes des films a dit il n'y aura jamais de partie 4, de Retour vers le futur partie 4, mais le jeu est clairement, c'est clairement la partie 4 en fait, quoi.
So first we figure out like the really rough story arc, and that's kind of where everything starts.
We would have roundtable meetings with the Telltale guys would come down to LA. We got to talking about things. I proposed that we
Salut
go back
Kae.
into Doc Brown's youth because this was an idea that Bob Zemeckis and I had way early on when we were trying to figure out what Back to the Future Part 2 was going to be about.
And instantly, like all of the fans in the room just went, yeah, that's why we should do this. That's the story we want to tell and explore. And then it was all just a matter of, okay, well, we have this basic idea. How do we get the player involved? What is, you know, obviously we want it to be a Doc and Marty story. That was kind of the core of what the films are. And so we started there, came up with the problem for the whole series of Doc getting stranded back in time. Then we go in and start actually kind of creating the concept art. I remember seeing that first Marty sketch was another key moment in the process where we're like, okay, that's the thing we were most worried about in this production. We've got that figured out, now we can move on.
Or the best part, the Telltale guys on the game, they were huge fans of the movie.
Ouais, voilà, en gros, ils expliquaient qu'ils sont arrivés avec une idée, tout le monde a été plus ou moins d'accord, et donc du coup, ils ont commencé le scénario à partir de cette idée. Ils voulaient vraiment faire une aventure avec Marty et Doc, hein, bien sûr.
The game was first pitched, we said we have to get Christopher Lloyd if we're going to be doing Doc Brown in a huge speaking role. It's got to be right.
I think it's great. What a fabulous idea.
Ah, Doc.
It's certainly timely. I mean, video games are hot, and this is great material. I mean, it should be a lot of fun.
Great Scott!
Having Tom Wilson come back for some voiceover now is rad.
Tom as Biff, episode 103, take one.
Biff Tannen.
You're lucky your old man's here, butthead.
I feel like that guy is just one of the huge parts. Like you can't have a Back to the Future game without Biff.
He moves his neck more. He uses his
Cet acteur, il a vraiment un charisme,
more than
je
I
trouve.
do. You know, things like that. So with every character in the movie, I would think about those things. So it's there. I don't have to watch everything because I remember those cues also. The physicality, although in voiceover it doesn't matter so much. But as you see, maybe in the B-roll, you see, you know, I'm trying to be physical to get, you know, to get back into it, to be able to do it right.
Donc là, il parlait des mimiques et tout, appliquées au personnage et tout.
Right off the bat, you know, interested as well, and heard that kind of the band was getting back together.
Jennifer? What the hell?
The coup of all coups was getting Michael J. Fox to participate and be the voice of one of the McFly ancestors.
Well, yeah, so when we were trying to get all the cast together, we spoke with Michael J. Fox, but due to time commitments, couldn't be, you know, full-time like we needed him. But we got him to do the cameo, which was awesome. And I almost feel like that was a really, almost a cooler use of him nowadays. But then the search turned to how do we find someone to do a Marty who can just come
Ouais, du coup, Michael J. Fox, celui qui faisait Marty à l'époque, il a prêté sa voix pour Simus en fait.
Jesus Christ, Doc, he disintegrated Einstein.
Enfin pas Simus, Willy. Ouais, ça, Willy.
Oh, you know that amazing iconic role that everyone.
Et du coup, c'est lui qui fait la voix de Marty, du coup.
Quote lines from and that incredibly famous, wonderful actor Michael J. Fox. Can you just replicate that? That's what I had going on in the back of my head. So yeah, it was a lot of pressure.
At one point, we got an email from our accountant who said that she had gotten emailed an MP3 from some kid who said he would like to be Marty in the Back to the Future game.
I heard about this. I saw a news article. Telltale Games is making Back to the Future and Jurassic Park into a game. And I was like, wow, that looks awesome. I would love to be, you know, the voice of Marty McFly, but there's no way in hell that's going to happen. And at the time, Telltale was a lot smaller, so you just have to Google Telltale to get like a list of phone numbers. And Rhoda was the first name that popped up, so I called her. And I left a message that was basically this nerdy, like, hey, my name is AJ Locascio, I do a great Marty. You know, I tried to sound as much like Marty as I could. I was like, it's my density to have this role.
But I remember it going across someone's desk, them hearing this audition and just saying, man, this kid sounds exactly like Michael J. Fox when he was young.
Doc, you gotta listen to me. The bruise on your head, I know how that happened. You told me the whole story.
It was almost noticeable.
J'avoue, sa voix, parce que moi j'ai vu les films en VO, il le double mais vraiment parfaitement le martyr.
It was just insane, but it was that good.
AJ's Marty McFly is damn near flawless. When I heard his voice, I couldn't believe it.
I mean, I listened to it, and if I didn't know that this was not Michael, I would have assumed it was.
He was such a crucial piece to have that energy throughout the entire series, so it was amazing working with him.
I was obsessed with the movies growing up, like obsessed with Back to the Future. So it was something that was always in the back of my head. It was just a silly party trick at, you know, what went from a social thing to party trick to actually becoming very useful.
So, Jennifer. What do you think of me? I don't.
C'est incroyable, sa voix a l'air incroyable. Il est vraiment excellent. Moi je veux qu'il m'appelle pour faire le prochain jeu pour que je double Molostanen en français moi. Je vais leur envoyer un message comme il a fait là.
Well, here's 3 different ways or 4 different ways that Marty could possibly react. If you were playing Marty, what would you do? And I think that it allows people to really author their own story.
Telltale's Back to the Future game is the only game that deserves to be called Back to the Future. It's very true to the spirit of the movies. The voice acting is terrific. The characterization is great. And with the new consoles, the game is just going to sparkle and jump off the screen.
Bringing this game to a new generation, even though it's not that old, is actually super exciting. Like getting to debut it again on all the new platforms. Telltale's got a lot bigger of a fan base now, and there's a lot of people who probably didn't know that we made this game. But it's still got a lot of the same core principles that are fun in a Telltale game. You know, we're taking this thing that's super familiar and we're putting our own story in it and allowing you to play it. So, in time with the 30th anniversary of the films, now we're getting to kind of add to what's out there in the media and saying, like, you know, you're rebuying the movie again and watching it, here's a game you might enjoy as well. And it kind of, you know, watch the movies first, get back the nostalgia, and then right after the movie ends, you can pop in the game and continue the story.
Exactement, c'est ce que je disais. Genre tu te fais la série des films, ensuite tu te fais le jeu, tu kiffes ta race quoi. Franchement, je vous félicite pour le scénario et tout. Mais je vous félicite pas pour l'optimisation du jeu les gars, hein, parce que putain, horrible. Et donc voilà, ce qui conclut notre petit épisode bonus, j'espère que ça vous a plu, en tout cas c'était bien cool de voir les devs, le scénariste Bob Gale du coup, et puis les voice actors, c'était bien cool je trouve. Voilà, j'espère que ça vous a plu, moi je vous dis à la prochaine, c'était Sangesh, ciao ciao.